that are going to be working in Photoshop. I want to start from start to finish how this is going to work. The first thing you're going to need to do is open up the zip file that comes with all of the things that you're going to need. So you're going to double click on that zip file and download them. At this point you have chosen either Mockup 1 or Mockup 2. So when you go into your folder, you're going to double click the blue folder. You're going to see either all the files for 1 or all the files for 2. So click on the right folder that works with the mockup that you've chosen. And then we're going to be starting in Photoshop using the album cover file. So I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And I'm going to open up Photoshop. And I'm going to build this exactly like I've done all of my other projects. I'm going to be using my library, using my images that I found for this project. So I'm going to actually bring this out because I have quite a few files that I've saved. Okay, so here's my assets. And I want to think about the background first. So I'm going to go ahead and choose a rectangle because I just want a solid rectangle. And this is going to look a little different than the sample that I'm going to show you because I'm working from different images this year, and I don't have quite as much time to go through and make this look as neat and tidy because I don't want this video to get too long. But I would start with the background and then I would start to build my images. If you were going to take an image and just simply place it onto the artboard, that's fine. If you're going to select part of it, you're going to want to take it out of the background first by bringing it into its own window and then using your selection tools that you have practiced so far. You can then create the selection, making sure that it's in a new layer with layer mask. That's obviously not going to be really well selected, so I would have to go in and actually perfect the selection. But let's say that I just wanted to go ahead and just use the flower, not the leaves. Okay. I could have very easily done this in the window I was just in. So let me go back to that window. Just part of editing and going in and figuring out what you want and what you don't want. So I'm going to take away this petal. It's not selected perfect. And I'm going to come in here, clean up the edge here. Okay, so I'm going to work on that selection. And then I would do new layer with layer mask. I love doing this way because it's still layer mask, which means that if there's parts of the flower that I forgot to add or parts of the flower that I forgot to take away, I can still do that in my layer panel over here. Okay, so you're gonna lay out all of your images, leaving out the title of the album as well as the artist's name. So once you have this designed, you're gonna first save it as a PSD. Always save it as a PSD so that you have it, you're able to edit it later if you need to. And then you're going to export it, or I should say yes, export as a ping. Okay. All right. Now that one's done. I'm going to save those two in the same spot. And now I'm going to go back to that zip file. Quite a few of them open. And I'm going to grab the record file. This is not the one I gave you. Let's go back to the one that I had in Canvas. So I used Mockup 1, and then I'm going to click on the record. Oh, maybe it was the same file. Okay. This one does not include text. It's not going to have, you're not going to have to worry about going over the edges. You're just going to fill the entire space in with images all the way to the edge. We want all of it filled in because what we're going to do is we're going to end up clip masking this into the actual record itself inside of here. Okay, so inside of Photoshop, for my original design, what I did was I just took a picture of a flower. I could even use the same flower that I just used, And I just filled in the entire space. So let's say I do want to use this flower again. I'm going to bring it into my record art, give it permission. It's actually that's not too bad. I kind of like that. Let's use that. Okay, I would save this as a PSD, so I can always come back and change it if I want to. I have to apply the transform. So I'm going to save it as a PSD. Actually, make sure I save it to the same place. And then I'm going to export it as a ping. I took the time to make sure these files had the right name so that you don't override one of the other ones. So you should have them all organized when you're ready to go into Illustrator. Okay, you do have to go back into Illustrator, or go finish off in Illustrator, because remember, when you go into Photoshop, you're not adding any text. You need to take your record, your album cover into Illustrator. That's going to be part 2 of this video. You're going to be adding the artist name as well as the title of the record. That file is going to be in the same file that I showed you earlier, but that'll be in part 2.